The human brain changes based on what you repeat, not what you intend. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity. Philosophy called it habit long before science caught up. Most people think intelligence is something you're born with, a fixed trait, a number. But the brain doesn't work that way. It quietly reshapes itself around everyday behaviors, especially the ones that feel too ordinary to matter. And that's where real cognitive advantage is built.
This video isn't about becoming smarter overnight. It's about subtle behaviors that slowly reshape how your brain processes information, emotion, and decisions. No hacks, no extreme routines, just habits that quietly change how your mind works over time. And some of these will probably surprise you. Let's start with the first one.
Habit 1. They don't respond immediately. Here's the point. Most people react fast. Emotion hits, response follows. But people whose thinking stays sharp develop a short internal delay. Not silence, not avoidance, just a moment to process. That pause allows the brain to separate emotion from interpretation, avoid knee-jerk conclusions, choose a response instead of defaulting to one. Neurologically, this strengthens emotional regulation and cognitive control. Over time, that small delay becomes mental clarity.
Habit 2. They give their brain empty space. This habit looks unproductive. Walking without music, staring out a window, letting thoughts drift. But this nothing time activates the part of the brain responsible for insight and pattern recognition. It's where ideas connect, where understanding forms. That's why clarity rarely comes when you're forcing it. People who never slow down keep collecting information. People who pause start integrating it. Habit 3. They stick to simple, repeated practices. Highly effective brains don't chase novelty constantly. They reread, they revisit ideas, they repeat basic behaviors consistently. Writing short reflections, thinking through the same questions, returning to the same concepts over time. Repetition strengthens neural pathways, not intensity, consistency. That's why some people seem to naturally understand things better. Their brain has practiced clarity for years. Habit 4. They think slower than necessary. Speed feels impressive, but depth requires slowness. People whose thinking improves over time don't rush conclusions, judgments, opinions. They read carefully. They listen fully. They let thoughts finish forming. Slower thinking reduces mental errors. It allows nuance to surface, and that's where real understanding lives. Habit 5. They limit what they consume. This habit changes everything. People with clear minds are selective about input, not because they're fragile, but because too much information fragments thinking. Endless scrolling, constant noise, non-stop stimulation. The brain doesn't integrate when it's overwhelmed. When input decreases, focus increases. When noise drops, meaning rises. That's why simplifying what you consume often improves how you think. Habit 6. They reflect instead of escaping. When something uncomfortable happens, most people distract themselves. Scroll, talk, avoid. But adaptive minds do something different. They pause and ask, why did that affect me? What assumption did I make? What does this say about how I think? This habit builds self-awareness, which directly improves decision-making. A brain that understands its own patterns makes fewer unconscious mistakes. Habit 7. They don't rush to certainty. Instead of needing answers immediately, they tolerate uncertainty. They're comfortable saying,
I'm not sure yet. I need more context. This is more complex than it looks. That openness keeps the brain flexible. Certainty feels satisfying, but flexibility is what keeps intelligence alive.
Habit 8. They don't try to look smart. This is the quietest habit of all. They don't dominate conversations. They don't perform intelligence. They don't need to prove anything. They focus on understanding, not appearance. And paradoxically, this keeps their mind curious, open, and constantly learning, which is what intelligence actually is.
So here's the takeaway. Mental growth rarely looks dramatic. It looks like pausing, simplifying, reflecting, slowing down. Habits so ordinary, most people overlook them. But practiced over time, they transform how your brain works, quietly, steadily, permanently. If this video felt familiar, you're probably already doing more right than you think.
If this resonated, leave a like. And if this way of thinking speaks to you, subscribe. This channel isn't about appearing intelligent. It's about thinking clearly, without noise, without force.